Alright, so let's take a look at the passive tree. And see the passive tree by pressing the P button, or if you have points to spend, you'll see a plus button down here at the bottom of the screen. And at level 69, here is where I ended the campaign. I didn't kill the final boss because I just wanted to show you the character at the end of the campaign. But you may end up at a slightly different level, so you may have a few different number of points. But this is pretty typical. People usually end the campaign between 60 and 65. I take my time, I overlevel, so I get a little bit further into the tree. And so I'll show you during the walkthrough how I develop the points, but we start here in the witch area, and we're going to go up through spell damage. You're going to respec this later on, but spell damage is what you need at the beginning of the campaign. Later, we're going to pick up these nodes because they have some minion benefits here. So that definitely outweighs the spell damage, but not at first. So this is the only respec that you'll need to do with this character guide. And really even respecing onto this side is, it's optional. It will help, but it's optional. So we come up through spell damage. We have the chance to take health and mana if you're feeling that you need it. If you're the mana won't help that much in the beginning, but the life definitely help you keep you alive. So if you're feeling fragile, you can take that one first. But we want to get over to these nodes here on the left side and get up to this Enduring Bonds. That increases minion duration, which is really difficult to get. There are not many ways that you can get it in the game. So we're going to be creating temporary minions as part of our character, so the longer they last, the better off we'll be. And this also has some additional damage here as well, so those are all good. After that, we're going to start heading towards the left side of the tree. Again, you got some more life and mana regen here if you feel that you need it. If you are feeling strong, then you can just bypass that and come on down on the left side. Got some damage here, and we've got a really good life node here. So again, if you feel that you need the defensive aspect first, you can take this. Otherwise, we're going to go up into these two minion wheels. We're going to go up and through this one that offers us minion attack and cast speed. Spiritual commands, particularly good. 8% increase is quite a bit. There's an accuracy node here that we can take as a part of our mastery. Accuracy is definitely helpful for our minions. We're going to need that, so it could be a good time to take it. We're going to come up. We're going to get some life and energy shield. And then we're going to hit this minion wheel here. And we've got a bunch of minion life and damage all throughout this. Spiritual aid is the crucial node that you need, though, to really bring your main skill, Absolution, alive. It says increases and reductions to minion damage also affect you. So our character is going to be doing its own damage, and it's also going to have many minions that are going to be fighting alongside of you. So the ideal situation is we have damage that we're collecting on the tree that's going to apply to both you and your minions at the same time. Well, this node here is what's going to make that happen. So every place on the tree where you've taken a node that has minion damage, that damage will now apply to you. That's huge. So we want to rush this. We want to get this as soon as possible, basically. At this point, you might want to start taking the nodes here for auras, increase our mana reservation. It'll allow us to reserve more auras, or to have more mana after we reserve, which is going to be good. From there, if you found a good gem along the way, you can always activate this gem slot. It's really only going to be if you find a gem that you actually want to use. This one happened to have some good stats on it, so yeah, I decided to take this. From here, we're going to come up and take some minion damage, minion life. You can head on over to this minion wheel, which will make our minions survive quite a bit better. And then in the center here, we can leech 1% of damage as life. That's going to help them stay alive. This is a good minion defensive wheel. You can take Cruel Preparations over here to gain some all res and some life. And then we can take some additional fat life here. From there, we come up and we take our minion commander, our golem commander. It's going to give us an extra minion and improve our golems. Pretty good wheel here, and it's very accessible since we're coming up here already for this defensive wheel. We've got Ravenous Horde up here, which is also going to be quite beneficial to damage. And then finally we can come down and start building towards Grave Pact. A couple of extra nodes which are optional but are likely that you're going to want to take, but just situational. We have all res and we have stats here. It's hard to get dexterity. There's a few places else we can get it on the tree, but this one's got the all res. This is kind of a great node to make sure your resistances are capped and you have the stats that you need. And then down here it gives us some attack and cast speed, which is good, and then some dexterity, which we'll quite likely need. So those are optional, but if you need those, you can. You can also spend a couple of points to come up and get strength and dexterity here. I'd only do that if you are really stuck on your stats. This is kind of a temporary fix. It's kind of not a great use of points to get over here. So if there's some other way you can do it, especially by taking nodes that have more than one benefit to you, that's gonna be a better way to go. As I mentioned, my character is unascended. I never went to the labyrinth. I never ascended. And I did that just to prove that this build is effective, is a baseline. So whatever ascendancy that you choose, depending on how you want to build out your endgame character, or just whatever seems to be fun for you, any of those nodes that benefit your character will just make it better than this baseline. Necromancer, as I mentioned previously, is sort of the obvious choice, and but it's up to you, to your game. So that's the tree, and it's just that situation where people really feel intimidated by this tree. The nodes themselves are pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple. It's pretty easy to understand, well, what is it that they do, with some exceptions. So Mind over Matter is a complicated mechanic. It's not really a straightforward one, but our standard nodes, small nodes and notables, are pretty easy to understand. It's more a matter of, well, knowing what's on the tree, what's available to you, and how are you going to get there. After you play a couple of minion builds, you're going to get to know, well, this minion wheel over here, you're basically always want to take it. These wheels here are conveniently located for what we want to do, so we're pretty much always going to take them. If you need mana reservation, then you know that one of your powerful options is right here, and look, it's all connected. So all these other nodes are just kind of noise to us because, well, you know, totem skills That's not helpful to us. It doesn't do anything. So we can just completely disregard it. So just knowing what's available on the tree and thinking about, well, how would I get there? What else is on the way that's also beneficial to us? So if we want to empower our golems, we know we want to come up here to Golem Commander. Kind of obvious. Well, how are we going to get there? What else do we need? Do we need maximum power charges? It could be helpful, but it's not going to help our minions. It's only going to help us. So it's got some benefit to us, but it's not that useful. Increased mana regeneration. It's got some utility. Is it crucial to us, though? Is it worth those extra points to get there? Maybe not. Well, minion defense. That's obviously something that's beneficial to a character like this. So, right, then I'd be thinking, well, starting here, I need to get here. There's something really helpful along the way. Okay, that's how am I going to create that route to get there? So that's kind of how you're going to, if you stick with Path of Exile, how you can start decoding the tree for yourself. And you'll see if you look at a few minion builds, a lot of them will use very similar looking trees because, as I said, you know, this minion wheel over here, it's huge. Almost every minion build will use it if they can. So that it is a matter of what else around it could be useful for these kinds of characters. One thing that's nice here for minions is that there's a whole section here that has a bunch of defensive options, including block. So if we wanted to build a character and use, and we wanted defense, well, we're already going down to this area, so here's that block that we might want to build into. And block is a really powerful defensive layer. It's commonly used with minions because, as you can see, it's a basic area on the tree where we're headed over to. If you wanted to build evasion, well, evasion's all over here on the right side. How could we get there from where we are? And is there anything related to minions over here at all? Well, not much. So evasion's not really going to be a mechanic that we're likely going to be able to build into. It's all about choices and compromises because it only has so many points. It can only get so far on the tree. There's a lot of utility items that allow you to do some unusual things on the tree. So while in general we want to stick with these sorts of guidelines I just talked about, some of these items can unlock some pretty interesting and unexpected interactions here on the tree, and that's kind of the beauty of Path of Exile. There's just so many different ways that you can do things, and people are always coming up with creative ideas that no one's thought of before, or maybe a new unique item is introduced to the game that opens up some new options that were never before possible. So in any case, here's our passive tree for this particular character and a couple thoughts about passive trees in general.